I want to remind everyone to please hit that like button if you haven't already. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the show. You are tuned in to Not Without Alonzo with Alonzo, the West Coast pioneer, the godfather of West Coast hip hop. I am Dusty Vision. Shout out to the chat room. If you have any more questions, please drop them and we'll get to them. Let's jump into something, Lonzo. Let's see here. I don't know much about this, but Deep Blue says, what do you think about Diddy giving his artists back their publishing? Have you heard anything about that?
I heard about that shit. Most of that shit is
talk to me, because I don't understand. You understand the business way more than anybody else. Is this good for Puffy, bad for Puffy, good for the artist? What talk to me?
It's good PR for Puffy. A lot of that shit is worthless. I'm not gonna say worthless, but the value has been sucked out of it already. You remember Puffy did a lot of sampling. Puffy did a lot of
a ton of sampling.
Puffy ain't made the original beats. So when you don't make original beats, somebody else getting that publishing anyway. He may got a little bit of something for the creating the new tune, but his publishing from that situation is minimum. I heard he was paying what's it, Sting? I've been watching you for the Biggie song.
Sting for I'll Be Missing You.
Yeah, he was paying him like
$500,000 a week or some crazy ass number.
Fee. So that was a big hit for him. But you got to understand, most of the dude's records were sampled or they was created from somebody else. So his publishing may not be, nowhere near what Dre's was. And if it was, he said people offered him money for it. I think, like my boy, one of the cats was saying, he was like, shit, man, we should have sold it and cashed us out. Okay? Gave us our percentages. But he said, man, this shit might give me, a couple of dollars a year, or whatever the case may be. It's not like the publishing game, it's changed considerably. Unless you're getting commercials, which I thought was crazy. Yesterday, I'm in the pad, I'm watching a commercial, and it was for Jeep. What song did they drop? California Love. Okay. The people that bought Dre's publishing is putting that shit to work. Isaiah Edwards, much love.
Thank you, Isaiah. Good looking out.
The people that bought Dre's publishing putting that shit to work. Now, the difference with Dre versus Puffy, Dre redid a lot of his music. He actually had people come in the studio and replay a lot of those songs that he not really sampled. He borrowed from, whatever you want to call it. He did interpolations. So he may have gotten more of the publishing. He damn sure got the masters. Okay, Puffy just put the record on the needle, sampled that shit, and started talking. Totally different situation. So the publishing may not be as valuable as people may think it is.
Damn, I would have never thought about that until you break it down like that. That makes a lot of sense. Isaiah says most publishers, let me go up. Most publishers reverts back in 20 to 30 years anyway.
Writers, masters do. Masters, publishing, masters, copyright. That's what it's copyright. Copyrights go back in 30 years. If you own, let me see here. I don't want to lie. I know for a fact. I went through this recently on my Rapped in Romance album with Sony, and I own the publishing. I was trying to get the masters back, but because I was a work for hire, they own those masters. I can't get them back. Okay, because I was a work for hire. He's right. He's right to a certain degree, but it's based on your situation too. Publishing, depending on who you are, it could revert back to you. But again, it depends on your situation. So yeah, OG Steve, I see you, baby. Thank you, Doc. Appreciate you.
Yeah, that's the homie, man. Shout out to the Bronx. Vista Light says, and I don't know how true this is because we haven't seen it yet, and I don't even know if it's aired yet, but the MTV Awards are tonight, and he says they're doing a Hip Hop 50 tribute, and not one West Coast rapper or group is on the lineup.
No shit.
I don't know who's on the lineup. Do you, Lonzo? I have no idea. I'm watching that shit tonight. You just sold it for me, Vista Light. I'm watching that shit.
I just had a conversation today with a buddy of mine. He saw Kamala Harris getting her groove on in her California home, okay, and what nobody there that we knew from the West Coast there. Now, Your problem with that is understand. I'm talking Southern California first. Everybody in Southern California, for the most part, except for Kendrick, is a gangster. It's your first problem. Okay. Uh, and as big as they are, they still represent something that she probably don't want to be attached to because of the lyrical overtone. Now, she may dance to that stuff, but to sit there and take a picture with them or have them at your event is a little bit different. That's why she had Common and some other folks there. Okay. And people have to understand this as you go out there and build your career. What are you building your career on? You building it on Percocet and killing folks, or you building it on having a good time and partying? Makes a big difference. Now she could have got maybe E40. Ain't no stigma with E40. Okay, no stigma. He does his what he calls it, thug dizzle or whatever the case may be.
His dizzle.
Thug dizzle. And ain't nothing wrong with that. He created that whole situation. They could have got away. Nah, they could have got away with Too Short. Too Short you've been doing too many hoes and shit. But
that's a rough sell.
But even as the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce, as I'm putting together this Eazy E celebration, I got to be careful who I put on the bill. Do I want to put anybody on the bill? Do I just want to make it a bunch of speakers and go home? Because if you put certain folks on the bill, certain folks gonna show up. And I'm trying to establish something where Compton continue to do things. I don't need nobody having a hood problem at my event. Okay? I don't need nobody having no hood problems at the event. As simple as that. So that being said, you got to be careful as you establish yourself as an artist. You want to be embraced by the hood, or you want to be loved by the world. Okay? The hood can love, and that's what a lot of your artists are selling themselves short. They go for the low vibe situation, and they come up quick, but they blow out. They just like fucking skyrockets. You ever seen a skyrocket on 4th of July? That so much blow up, it shoot up in the sky and blow up, and you never see it again. That's what happens to a lot of your artists today. They like skyrocket. They shoot up in the sky. Yeah. They're beautiful for about 10 seconds. And next, and that's real talk.
Yeah. That's facts, dude. Hey, you talked about how you have to be careful inviting people to certain events and things like that. Let's talk about the 95 Source Awards. I was just watching some stuff. I believe it's been like the whatever their 20-something anniversary of that, 28th or whatever. But I know you were on the sidelines at that time. You were doing your club thing. But what do you remember when that whole thing was going down?